Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Carol in Chicago. You're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Well, hello there, sir. I am calling, first of all,
Yes.
Chicago, Helen Brock, 1977. Never, ever found the
Fill
woman.
us in.
But
Who
they
is-
were going
Who is Helen
after
Brock?
her.
Who was she?
The Brock Candies heiress.
Okay. What happened?
Well, she just disappeared. Never found her, never a trace, even with today's DNA and going over
Was
and
there-
over the crime scene.
But was there any evidence of, did she just disappeared, or was there a struggle, or what happened?
No, there really wasn't a struggle. Just one day she was gone. She had a ranch and horses and people
It's like-
around her. In 1977, you're talking about technology, nothing, you know. And I even wonder about this poor gal right now, if they even broke in and just did what they were going to do and then realized, oh, we've got somebody who is connected to somebody famous. Maybe they never even gave it a thought. They were just going after. The house looked like, oh,
Yep.
yeah, we could get in here. This is it. This is good. And then they discovered maybe paperwork, or she said who she was. Boom.
Or, very simply, they just knew this because they were workers, they were landscapers, or people who,
True that. But I'm also wondering if it was just somebody who just didn't know who she was and then discovered who she was and said, well, oh, this is going to be it. You know, things are
I was
so
reading this
open.
about the Helen Brock case. Although her body has never been found, Brock, well, let me say something. Brock was declared legally dead, and investigators suspect her remains were dissolved in a chemical vat or blast furnace in 1977 with help from the Chicago outfit when she threatened to expose horse traders who had swindled her out of millions of dollars.
It will always be a mystery here in the
No, but I'm
Midwest.
saying, but this was a motivation. This is a very interesting fact, that she might have incurred the wrath. By the way, their outfit is what most people would say the LCN or what have you. And for somebody to do this to a person of her renown, that shows a pretty determined mob, if you will.
Oh, yes.
Indeed.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Thank you so much for that. Bill in Yorktown, you're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Hey, Lionel, I think you've said it. I think it's somebody that knew her, somebody that worked at her house, the pool boy. I don't know, but they did not expect her to be home. She shows up. All of a sudden, they're there. She recognizes them, and they panic. They may have roughed her up, which caused the blood. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't leave her. If they left her, she'd turn them in. So they took her with them. And now they're not saying anything because they had no plan. They did not plan to abduct her. It's all a fluke, and they could just be buying time now to figure out how to get out of Dodge.
And or they figure if they don't know who we are, this is obviously you don't want to say this to people, but if you really went out of your way, if murder was your goal, if murder was something you had to do, if that was something, and you went to another city, drove to another city, picked up somebody at random, turned around and came back so that you would never be in that city again, you would never bump into anybody, you had no connection with these people, no nothing, the chances of you being apprehended are next to nothing, unless there was some type of surveillance that caught you. In this case, though, there was this bleeding, it didn't look like a lot. Now, I know the blood splatter people will come along and they'll determine what it was most likely about. But if they just absent themselves with her body, as one caller said, maybe they're afraid if they were that smart enough, maybe during a tussle, maybe their DNA ended up on her. But here's the bottom line. DNA has to be compared with something else. And if they were to, I mean, look, when things are happening and they're dissolving before your eyes, you don't worry about what's practical, probable, realistic. You freak out. And the sad part is what that family must be going through. Because as the idea, this is your mother. And your focus for every single day. You get up in the morning and you realize this is what you've got to deal with. Mark in Astoria, you're on the other side of midnight with Lionel.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, it's terrible,
Indeed.
terrible. Why do people murder? I mean, is there a lot of murders like globally or nationally?
You know
How
what?
many murders a year?
Well, put it this way.
Occur?
You mentioned the term murder. There is most probably deaths called criminal deaths by negligence. It'll be manslaughter or man's laughter, depending upon how you look at it. The other type of murder will be second degree, heat of passion, depraved mind, something that did not have premeditation. It was criminal. You came home and found your wife in bed with somebody, you pull a gun out and shoot them. Again, not first-degree murder. There was no premeditation. It was just reaction. So that's like second degree. Then there's felony murder, or murder 3. That's when there's a death that occurs during the commission of a felony, which nobody ever planned on. And that the thing that's left over is this first-degree murder that people are talking about. The deliberate, intentional killing or taking of a life of somebody else with premeditation, malice of forethought, and all of those other conditions. That, very rare. Very rare. Because that involves planning, and the goal is specifically murder. That's what you want. So that's the good news. The other part, which is interesting, I think, out of all this, is that when you look at what's happening right now, and you look at everything, we have heard so many people trying to figure out how this thing works and how this supposedly is going to be done, or who's going to figure this out. And I don't know if that's even possible. All I know is that I feel so sorry for that family. And I look at that woman and I think of my mother and I think, you know what? That's not. It's just sad, sad, sad.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and busts. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.